me see. Can you hear me? Yeah. Perfect. Thank you, Leslie. Thanks for the perfect. All right, thanks. Okay, glad you could join us. You joined us last night on the other platform. We appreciate it. Um, I was saying some awesome people about all of you, and you guys couldn't hear. So anyway, okay, let's keep it going so I can take some of your questions as well. So I started the Kasoa project, many years ago, and I think maybe 45 years I've been on YouTube. And I started posting, on the progress report per se. And the goal for that project was to see one. It was kind of like an inspirational, dream-like project for myself to be able to see if I can accomplish my dream house at that time, and also with the intention that possibly, I move back home. Uh, you know, so that was the intention. Then fast forward the evolution project, the Kasoa project. Also, once I finished with that project, because when I started that project, I was not going to Ghana at that time. And then once I finished and I started visiting in Ghana, trying to see, okay, can I live here? What would you take for me to live here and thrive? And then also, when you have a family and all that stuff, you have to factor a lot of decisions. So that kind of like, kind of like, okay, I need to take a look at, what is it that, it's a trade, right? So, really one life for the other. And for me, it's common sense that you trade a life for a quality life, for a higher quality life. And so I started, you know, I started looking at things in Ghana. I said, listen, man, it's like there's things here that I need to really pay attention to. So then, after that series of videos came, basically that would be like those are called mentor videos for you to look at Ghana in a different way. So then preparation becomes very, very important for you to succeed, from my perspective and stuff. It's going to take more than some YouTube video, right? So once I started doing that, then I started looking at Ghana critically and stuff, and man, it has some underlying stuff that one needs to be able to tackle if they are going to thrive. And so that kind of changed the approach for me to say, okay, all right. And then after that, I started with a second project. Um, so to be more strategic with that project, layout oversize and finding certain locations, and then building to, I've not killed a dream of not moving back, but also just to give me the flexibility. Okay, it's like you have two houses, whatever. What if at a certain point, you're gonna decide whether you're gonna keep one, sell one, whatever, and stuff like that. So that gave me that kind of flexibility in doing. So if you are watching the videos and you see the genesis of the, started all with the Kasoa videos, that is one thing. That video is just an inspiration video for you to see that you can do it. Even for remotely, you can do it with the right people and you do your homework, you can do it. So that's for that. And but then if you want to, if the if your project is intent to build and move, then you probably have to start looking after the Kasoa videos, some of the videos that I did about the budget, some of the things that you need to tackle in Ghana, because that is very, very critical. Because just finishing the house, which is very, very important, but that is not that is not the only thing. It's a very important aspect, but that's not the only thing because you still have to you need resources. And if you're single, you don't have to care about a lot of these things because every decision just affects you. But if you're a family, then it's like you have to look at things a little bit more broad, and being strategic. And I always say this: Ghana can be anything for you. It can be heaven like, it can be hell like. Depends on you and your preparation, and stuff like that. So it may be something that will work for people, and sometimes it may be And because some people live in Ghana, it doesn't work for them. So obviously, there's no guarantee that it's going to work for you. But it takes a lot of preparation. If you prepare well and stuff like that, just like anywhere, you prepare well, you will thrive. So that is the important thing. So it's not so don't watch the Kasoa video and say, okay, all right, Tony, is building this house and boom, boom. So you finish the house and then you're going to pack your bags and go. That was not the point. I need to clarify that was not the point was bidding with the potential of moving back. So if that becomes the only house you build, right, then at least it's enough for the future. I still say layout oversize. I'm still doing that. So Kasoa one inspirational video is a challenge for myself to see I can do it. The next project is more of something different and built for different reasons, and also to see what is the best to do my best work, if that's possible. Okay. All right. Let me know if you have some questions. So you say, how do you move forward if someone runs off with your money for non-existent land? So our goal is to is to prevent this, right? Is to prevent this. You have to be realistic. We did a video last week, Wednesday, on another panel about another podcast about common sense, right? You must understand these things. That the environment, understand the environment you are operating in. Okay, don't be naive. Okay, things happen in Ghana, things happen everywhere, but understand the environment. And so, and I've said this before, and I repeat it again. Um, the presumption and assumption is this: when you buy in the land, the assumption is that the person is not telling you the truth. That is how you should approach it. I don't care if it's your parents, your mom. The presumption and assumption is they're not telling you the truth. Now, if you come that angle, then you are going to take the necessary steps to actually vet, right? To do all the steps that I've done. I probably have done the most robust videos on buying land in Ghana. I've done at least three. And so if you do that, then it is less likely that you have problems, right? But people don't. People, and if somebody take your money and they run away, it's kind of like on you, especially if you watch any of my videos and you heard me say that. Don't do it. If I have a relative selling land to me, it wouldn't make any difference. I don't care if he was the deacon or he's the new prophet in Ghana or the president. It wouldn't make any difference. It's a business transaction. So I would say, okay, fine, I'll go do my research. And that is the only way you are going to protect yourself in the process. So understand the environment. Don't make an emotional thing. Make it a mental thing and a business thing. So don't. It's not about you love the place or you hate the place. Listen, things go down all the time. And sometimes if I tell you what really goes down, it's gonna kill some of your spirit to even start. But I'm saying that listen, we figured this thing out, how the game is being played, a new scam that comes out. And we're telling you that listen, these are the steps that you need to take. So it really doesn't matter what we're telling you, really it's irrelevant. They can tell you it doesn't matter because we are going by evidence, not going by words. We're going by the evidence, right? So if they take your money and you run, you can report it to the police. Can that help? Yeah. Can that necessary? Sometimes no. And so then it's going to cost you more money to find this person and all kinds of stuff. Yes, I've people have reached out to me with similar issues. I was able to get some people to arrest them, and they pay the money and that kind of stuff. But usually you don't want to do that because that takes time and energy and stuff. So the goal is that you have to do the work that I have done videos on. And I can tell you, when it comes to buying land in Ghana, what I put over there is robust. It's really, really robust, especially the last one. If you do that, I do that all the time. We get lands for people all the time, and there's no fishy stuff coming out because we follow those processes. Okay, so I don't want you to be a victim of the circumstance and environment you find yourself in. Things happen in Ghana, but I still manage, with common sense and being realist in the environment, the behavior, the mindset, to get things done. Okay, so if it happens to you, I feel bad, but the goal is to prevent that. How's that project coming? So that project is doing fine. That maybe Leslie think about the other project. So here's one thing I want you guys to think about. There's a benefit, right? There's a benefit of doing projects taking a couple of years. One of the benefit you find out too is like because sometimes, and maybe just with me, if you build so fast, you miss out on certain things. And I'll tell you, for example, I have a neighbor who just built his house next to me, which is dope because when I'm done, I want at least 60, 70, or 80% of all the houses in the neighborhood to be completed. So it feels like a real community. I don't want to be there with just a handful of people, right? So they built their house, and I'm glad they moved faster. Now, in doing that, because I will go to his building first, check it out, and then I'll take some pictures from, to get elevation and take pictures of mine. In doing that, I can also see that from his vantage point, he can see into my compound very, very well. So that means I wouldn't have privacy if he's out there lurking around, stuff like that. And so I'm glad that happened. So now I am modifying certain things in my building plan to get some privacy, right, from that side of the wall. At least have some privacy when I'm inside the house or I'm in the porch. But once I step to where the pool will be, then they can see. But that I'm gonna also mitigate that with some tall trees that I'm gonna plant sometime next year, right? So sometimes it's like what your neighbor does also gives you some ideas and some clues to how you should also do yours, because I mean it would suck if like people can just look into your compound without ease, right? And so sometimes too it's like, hey, it is what it is, right? You can't your neighbor is entitled to build it whatever house they want to build, right? And so these are some of the things. So it's coming along well. And what I'm also trying to do is do a series of projects together, big projects, one time and stuff like that. So and since this, I'm challenging myself to create a masterpiece for this house. I need to be on the ground to get to get all the detail from and make all the provisions that is necessary. So right now is you just save money and look at some ideas of inspiration online, and start creating like a folder for yourself to see how you are going to execute some of the stuff. It's modern, so you guys have seen the designs are modern, but I'm trying to add some contemporary to it. I don't want to make it super modern. So and I might even add some few touch of rustic a little bit in the interior, just break it up a little bit. I don't want to be like super modern and stuff like that. So, but it's coming well. I hope yours is coming well. Let me give a few. Shari Hajia, thanks for joining. Leslie again, take it Eve. Okay, so my thing is, listen, be strategic in your decision making, right? Because life is interesting. There are people that are really, really rooting for you, and also you do have people. If you do fail, they will enjoy. They will get some satisfied from that. That's life. So you have to be vigilant, and you have to make strategic decisions, and you have to be street smart. You got to be savvy, and understand human nature, right? And so in the process of doing this thing, just in the of life, you will find real love, real hate, fake love, and fake hate. This is all part. It's all good. But you, the individual, I don't think there's any power or force that can stop you from your quest to higher achievement. I don't think so. Um, so, and understanding your knowledge is always limited, even as you acquire more, is always limited, right? So, understand the mindset, understand your own limitations within the ecosystem you find yourself, and then keep pushing, right? Um, let's see. What would you say are the 10 setbacks you like to encounter in investing or has? 10. Okay, I don't know if I can give you all 10 right now from my head, but I think I think sometimes number one I think is discipline, right? Discipline, and sometimes when we use the word discipline, somebody may be disciplined, like maybe they are physically disciplined, but they're not mentally disciplined. So discipline does not mean they are, or they are financially disciplined, then they're not health disciplined, right? So I think is I always say take risk but have contingencies, right? So take the time to figure out what is it that you are going to do. And business is investing carry great risk. And I always tell people, some people take dumb risks. Like I've seen people mortgage or they use their house as collateral. I've seen it, and the business don't thrive. They lose the house. The family is out on the street. You are 60 years old. Um, nah, that is a risk I would never take, never. Um, even if my life depend on it, I'd rather leave that asset to the next generation. I won't take that risk. Okay. And so that is understanding that. And also, too, there's a learning curve, right? So there's a learning curve that when you do anything in Ghana, there's a learning curve. And be a student. Be a student. Don't just maybe I it's very difficult for me to just outsource everything and say you take care of it unless you have proven great track record of delivering and expertise. Then maybe I go hands off, but I'll do hands off. I'll probably be watching from far. Um, and so you must really understand that, right? That it's a learning curve, and it's okay. You have to learn. You have to know what is going. It's your money, and so you have to understand why decisions are being made. Okay, and also too, whatever I always say this, whatever I invest, if I lose it all, is it going to be a devastating, catastrophic financial setback? And I don't know, so even I've invested in Ghana in some things, I've lost money. But when I invested those things, I was like, it wasn't a lot, it was like $5,000, but whatever. But I was like, okay, fine. If I lose $5,000, would that really going to change my life? No, it's not. And so that is my kind of investment, right? And then you do, and also it's very difficult. Number one thing is very difficult running something from outside. Very difficult. It is very. You would need the right people with competence and integrity at the highest. That is a challenge, though. That is really a challenge to get both. There are very, very highly competent people in Ghana. Sometimes the honesty is questionable. Sometimes people are very honest, but the competence is questionable. To get both would be ideal. So if you're doing something from outside, it's very, very difficult. And you just have to be smart, right? You really have to be, sometimes the emotions have to stay out of these things. Because if you go for the love of the country, you might find yourself in a situation, that listen, um, you are not that valuable as you think. So it's you making your strategic decision, and then whether you go alone or you go, and the more people that you're trying to invest with, the more challenges is going to come. Trust me, it's going to come. And I don't care. It may start well, but at a certain point, things going to happen and stuff like that. So for me, I go solo or one person. That is what has worked best for me. Um, when there's two people, it's also easier to make decisions very faster, and then everybody has their role, and we hold each other accountable. stuff like that. So there's so many things. And then what is it that you're trying to do? Long term, short term. How quickly do you need the money? 5 years, 10 years, stuff like that. But listen, don't as much as we have grievances in the West, or maybe you're in the East, so many opportunities. There's so many opportunities to make money, so many opportunities, to create a financial, net for yourself here. It's not always doomed. Like I said, 5 years, if your income has not changed, then you're probably doing something wrong. So there's so many things. You just have to find the right people and invest the right way. Then you can take some of the money and then do stuff in Ghana as well. But you probably need to be on the ground, monitoring stuff. Ima, thank you for joining. Leslie, okay. Akusia, hey, thanks for joining. Danny, thanks for joining. Say, mine's coming along, slow, currently on hold. Some money, yeah. Leslie, so that's what it is. We build, we build. Take your time. It's not a race. I tell people, listen, I get the money, I build. I don't have money. It is what it is. It's not anything like that. And so, as you are building, it's not an asset in the beginning. It becomes a liability, right? So you take your time and you build, but just do research, stuff like that. So before my problem building is longer as Wahala government says fix the problem. Yeah, Danny. Yeah. So Langard is for real. It's for real. It is. It is. The tentacles are so intertwined. I've had my own series that probably went the other way. So it's not fixed. Because I experienced it personally 6 months. Let me see, about a year ago. About a year ago. So it's not fixed. There's a way we deal with these things. Even when you buy land, also when we do some of the research, we also trying to find out what is the land gas situation, whether there's some internal conflict on the land. And man, it's hard, man. It's like these things, someday you wish you would be just a kick in the walk. You can just go buy your land and move on, but it's just the nature of these things. It's a lot of work to get things right. So, um, you know, if you know how to deal with them, reach out to us. Let's talk. Okay, get some more details and we can talk. Thank you, Leslie. It's interesting because it's like, some people that said I have inspired them. Now, when I see their project, it's like reverse. They give me the same thing that hopefully I gave them, and it's just awesome. Like I always say, my favorite is always foundation. And so when I see even people doing their foundation, I look at it and I'm like, man, I remember those days. And stuff like that. So I really, preach as much as, sometimes people say I've given them something. I think also is reciprocal. I've gained a lot. To be able to see people just finish their work and to live their dream. I mean, if you can do that, how do you reward me? Accomplish your dream, live well. That is the best thing you can give. We can help you, do it right. And so it's like, but above all, I want you to succeed greatly. Okay. You might say they're doing business opportunity because there are not enough platforms to micro. Yeah, yeah, it's true. And this is some of the hard truths, but it is true. It is true. It is true. It's not for the faint of heart. I think like Ghana would test your heart rate, right? So if you survive, that means you have a strong heart, right? So there's things in there. Doesn't mean you quit or anything like that. It's just about you knowing what you do and you getting the right information, right? The right information. And people that are not bullshitting you and telling you stuff because they want you to send them some money. for donations and all that kinds of stuff. Now, if they offer a service and they want you to pay for the service, the value of it, that's fine. I have a problem with that. But it's just that sometimes you back the stuff in and then you feel like, okay, I'm getting all the views, all the money of selling this narrative, and people are gonna go and crash. But make no mistake, a lot of people go to Ghana, they don't make it, they come. There's more people coming back than they actually stay. We are getting the data on that now, right? And so my thing is that I don't want that. There's no point of doing that. So get information right. And that sometimes the very thing that you don't want to hear is the thing that you need. The very videos that I do that is not so exciting to you, that say, hey, beware, be cautious, move certain this way, the budget video, those things are the very thing that you need to safeguard yourself in succeeding. Listen, you don't see me doing a video with crisis, right? You don't see me because I don't have crisis in Ghana. I don't. And if I do have them, I solve them. So it's not chaos. There's no, what is it called? Like clickbait. I don't do clickbait. So if I put over there, it is what it is and stuff like that. So I can maneuver very well, whether Ghana is stressful, less stressful, messy, and messy. I understand how it works and I can play this game. But not everybody understand that. Or not everybody wants to deal with that just mentally, even if they could. It's like, why go through this stuff? So it's important, right? Running stuff from outside it's a no-go. It's a real no-go. What is the first step in dealing with a vicious language? If not for public consumption. We'll skip this one. Not for public consumption, trust me. Then with that, Sikasemo was true. Yeah, money issue, right? It's good. Hopefully, I'll see you sometime next year. I hope everything is coming along very well. Kwame, thanks for joining us. I hope, if you can share some updates where you are, that'd be awesome too. Um, yeah, a building. So I think they have a building code. They have a building code, but is they just don't follow them. And listen, they have rules in Ghana. They don't work well, or they only work for certain people. The rules will affect you if your money is not strong and your connection is not deep. Then it will come on you. And so they have the code. I think the town planning should actually reinforce this thing because you see, I mean, I've seen people that have, like they built on the road, and the reason that somebody sold them the land on the road because the town. So if the place is not planned, so there's a couple of things they can do to solve this issue, right? Land issue. One, the government can come up and say, listen, if you don't have title to this land, you can't sell them. Period. That will force everybody to register these lands before they sell them, right? Second one would be if the place is not plotted, the town planners have not plotted the area, you can't build, right? So then, but that would be something that the government must control. So that means ASAP, they have to really, really get this thing going ASAP. And so if you don't know, sometimes people will say you a road. And then you build in, and then next thing the town planners are coming to say this is a road, right? So there's a couple of things that needs to be done. So it's kind of like the burden is on us to really, really figure out what is going on. And Accra is just a mess. It's just a mess. It's just and I it's painful to tell you this is deliberate. They want inefficiency. So because some people feed off that, right? So you have to think about this clearly. If we have a situation that people want inefficiency in the system, as an investor, you want efficiency, you have to think otherwise how you're gonna approach these things, right? And so it's a hard thing, right? So you notice that there are certain YouTubers who have glamorized Ghana and now slowly speaking the truth, you said alone. So yeah, I noticed. I noticed. They'll come around. They'll come around. I think when we give a balanced approach. Now, you see, it's funny. Therefore, people can't say Tony hates Ghana because I invest a lot in there. I invest a lot, and I don't give quotes. And I know people, not just me. I have friends that also invest in a lot. They put in hundreds of thousands of dollars into Ghana, hundreds. And so I don't hate the place because it would be stupid to hate a place and pour money in all the time. I could trust me, I could have bought a couple of Bentleys and Rolls Royce. So um and so we don't hate a place. We just love it enough to challenge it that it has to be better, right? So that's the difference. And we're saying that a country that has so much promise, we are pushing the envelope that we don't want mediocrity. We want excellence. We want uh, ethics to work. We want honesty. We want uh, patriotism, right? And so I'm not, and I have a conscience. I'm not going to tell you bullshit. Listen, no money is worth enough to sacrifice my conscience. And so people will do what they need to do to make money. You just don't become a hustler. Don't let anybody hustle you. You have to understand what it is that you see. And sometimes it's not what people say, it's what they don't say. And so you have to, but eventually the truth will come out. Eventually there'll be enough people going on the glamorous thing of Ghana, which there is, if you got it. If you're connected, you have the money, then you can have that, right? But if you are most people who are strategic, money's a little bit tight, you want to invest, you want to do something, stuff like that, then it's kind of like uh he moved here from here to Ghana and build this thing is not for you, right? That is not for you. You try getting $100,000 in Ghana loan from a bank loan and see what you have to go through. So if somebody was in the US and they're a cab driver, okay, maybe they're making 40,000, 50,000, and then they go to Africa and then they build like 200 units in 3 years. Is that really realistic to you? What ethical way can you make money? When they were here, there were nobody. And they will go over there, stuff like that. So read between the lines what is going on, right? You gotta read between the lines. Because I have hang around some of these people and I know what kind of shit they're doing, right? And so read between the lines. That's not for you. You have to be able to go get the information that you need. Because other than that, when you get over there, there are people who are ethical, who have ethics, go down there and they get compromised easily. Because when you're struggling, you're gonna compromise. Okay? So they will come around. They will come out eventually. Okay? Yeah, Roots in Ghana, yeah. They say the Australian price. Yeah, we need it. So webinar. Webinar is what, the end of the month? The end of the month. Okay. Um Now I don't even promote the business. Okay. If you have any questions, visit our website, learn stuff, building stuff. The building thing is, I think we got it also. We're like, we understand it really, really well to build from people who live outside what you want, what you need, the provisions you need to make. We can really help you maximize the place and get bang for your money. Okay. How long do you think structure can be left incomplete without compromising the structure? I'm up onto length of decking. We'll have to wait for a while. I mean, assuming the foundation was done very well, and stuff like that. What usually we do sometimes, like before, like if somebody did the groundwork and they want us to come do decking and continue, what we always do is that we will do some structural check, because we don't know how well the foundation was built and stuff like that. But if foundation was built, in a normal soil and stuff like that, yeah, you have time. You can leave that thing there, 5, 7 years, you'll be fine, right? So, but sometimes it was not, built well and stuff. So, things corrode, water gets in there, makes the foundation a little bit weaker and all that stuff, right? So it is, but if done well, then you have time. Read, yeah. We trying. Thanks, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So, like I said, hey, wouldn't it be awesome? We have this community of real people that when you travel anywhere in the country, you don't have to go to a hotel. You can call one of your brothers and say, hey, I'm coming to your region and stuff. Hey, I got you. Come here. There's a room. There's a space. That'd be dope, right? That'd be dope. So, pass it forward. Just pass it forward, right? And stuff. So the website, thank you, V. The website, you can see the website scrolling there underneath. Thank you. Link, please. Yes, I mean it's coming. So anyway, um, one of the things I want to share with you is this building is dope. Building your house, your dream home is very, very important. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's really a big deal. Um, and once you finish, you're gonna figure it a big deal. So I respect anybody that build, whether well, I don't care if it's one bedroom. I respect the energy, the time, the focus, and the discipline to execute that. So I watch all these videos. Even like it may be, they start with their foundation stuff like that. It's all important. So that is all it begins. But unfortunately, some people don't finish because of sometimes things beyond they're working with the wrong people, people are not ethical, things happen, life events happens. My goal is to help you navigate through those kind of things, so that you make sure that when you're gonna start this thing, you can finish, right? You can finish and then enjoy because living in your house, listen, I've stayed probably if you take the top 10 hotels in Ghana, I probably stay at half of them. But I can tell you, when I come home, it's a whole different thing. There's nothing like your home when you have no hotel in Ghana can give me 6,500 square foot of space. Now, so when you come home and you see what you've been able to do with the space and rest and kick your feet, there's nothing like that. So I appreciate all you guys that are like putting in that work. Okay, all right. Let's see what it is. So the many aspects are going to be he starts all over the place and the worst will be a mess. Well, so Danny, I mean, there's some locals too that have money that also build this mega homes, whatever and stuff like that. Um, so let me see, how do I answer it? Not everybody, because okay, I'll speak for myself. When I was building the Kasoa house, it was not to show wealth or anything like that. For me, okay, first of all, I didn't have a lot of guidance in terms of the size and all that stuff. And I've said this before, right? There's nobody on YouTube building anything massive at that time. There's nobody. When I started posting, there's nobody at that time. People were always building, but on YouTube, there was nobody doing it at that size. So maybe now that I'm doing back again, I'll probably do something smaller. And maybe some people it's an ego thing, they want to build a big house and stuff like that, which is fine. But also too, like I said too, it's like, it comes with everything, right? You show the wealth that also might have some people feel certain way. So then you have to deal with that too and stuff like that. Like I'm not saying that if you work hard for your stuff, don't live your life. Live your life. But you also have to know the environment that you are in, and whether you can be an asset in your environment, in your community, or people will pose as a threat. You're gonna have both. So there's a way to look at it. But my thing is that don't overstretch, right? Don't become hotspot. Don't go and build what some of us did uh, because maybe it's a competition thing. Don't tie your whole money there because life may change. Corona is happening. People are losing jobs. All kind of things may happen, and so you may become house poor. You may finish this big house, this luxury house, and you have no money. And for me, I think it's not the best way to do it. So, okay, you can show people you have this thing. Fake lifestyle is worse than anything. It's like a fake watch or bag or perfume cologne or something like that. Right? Makes no sense. And so just build something that is nice for you, is gonna accommodate you, and then make it dope and awesome. And still have money to spend because some people live in those houses and they're still struggling, right? So don't do that. If you got a millions, then do your thing. But other than that, just be smart, right? Just be smart. So okay, so one way you can beat this, okay, for example, like I have my kids are younger, they are teenagers. I want to give them property, right? I'll put it in a will. I'll put it in a will. So then when I leave this earth, that is when legally, supposedly, they get a transfer. But in the meantime, they can still keep possession of, or whatever that thing is. So that's one way to do it. And stuff like that. So because I think the land stuff is going to change, price is going to change 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, that kind of stuff. So I don't know if you do it now, which is better. So maybe some things will be grandfather in and that kind of stuff. And so sometimes too, like, if the kids are young, obviously minor, you can't give them while you are alive, you can't give them the property and stuff like that. But they can use it. Um so that's another approach, I would do it. Well, no, well, so I mean, you can't control some of these things. So you build your house whatever you want, and like but I understand what you're saying though. Like you have this nice big house, and everything is a shack over there and stuff like that. And so that also, everybody know who's the big boss in the area, and then they might make a move. It's highly possible. It's highly possible. So then you have to figure out how you're gonna do that. I'm not gonna share my strategies on how to do that publicly because you don't know how who's watching as well. So yes, that's a factor for consideration. Okay, not everybody's gonna be happy for you for what you have. So it's like yeah. So what do we do? What do we do? So we do land acquisition. We help people in the process. So we're doing that. It's a lot of work though. So we don't take too many of those because it takes a month to do all this background check and go through the process and then advise the client, move forward, don't move forward. And we also look at the indenture process, how it's written, so that when if we are handling the transfer for you, we don't get to a snag or something like because things were not written well. Not all the because there's a way to write the indenture based on whether the current person has the title or the previous person that also still has the title or whether there's no title. So in some indentures, they're not the same. It's like a vehicle. They're not the same, right? So we help people with that, and obviously building, from construction all the way to finishing into the project, and that kind of stuff. So I think the team is good. It's a man, it's a labor of love, man. Because sometimes I say with my business, I say, man, if we really really want to charge the really really amount of work, you don't know the phone calls, daily phone calls that I'm making, to double check, to push things through, to put a document through, man, is will be the tens. It will be a lot of money. It will be a lot of money because Ghana is like you can't just submit something and go to sleep. You have to be checking in periodically. You have to move it along, and stuff like that. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Um, yes, like, subscribe, share, please. We have, so if everybody can subscribe, share and subscribe, that'd be great. Okay. So obviously, if you want to, I mean, once, so as assumption, the assumption is this, which is the lowest form of knowledge. So if you've done all the work, legit, everything looks good, that land, the land process, registration or transfer, whatever, it looks good. There's not going to be double people showing up that when you are building, because the worst thing is you start building and then two people are showing with title and all that crap. So once you've done all that stuff, there's not major hurdles on the way, then obviously you have to submit your building permitting, then you can start build. I mean, if you Accra is gonna take on a fast track, you get it like a year to get your paper back. Cape Coast 6, 7 months, you get it. Accra is like a year. That'll be on the fast. And so sometimes, hey, you want to move now, you don't want to wait for a year for iron rods and cement prices to go up. But the trick is that understanding that the land is devoid of any major conflict that is going to come up. That is the only way I'll advise you to start building because other than that, depending on who does your searches for you, they might not look thoroughly. And then you start pricing, and next, there's a government interest in the land, and there's multiple interest and that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, you've done your foundation, you put 20, 30 grand into the work. Now it's kind of like it's at full stop because litigation and all that stuff. So I wouldn't make a blanket statement for everybody. It's just unique and how your process is going to go. I hope that helps. Building one house is not enough for me. Yeah. Okay, okay. Um, I thought one was enough, but I'm on the second one and stuff like that. So hey, um, whatever rock your boat, just make sure it's a smart decision, investment, and that kind of stuff. And if you can do it, it's hey, I'm not going to curtail your dreams or anything like that. Just do it well, and sometimes too. After you finish the first one, you learn a lot. You learn more. And I always tell people, I say, listen, you don't know what you don't know till you actually finish. Because when you finish, you see the inefficiencies, even though you think that you made all the right decisions, um, you will gain the experience, which is going to help you on the next subsequent projects. And so you can't know beforehand. I don't care who you are. You have to finish it, and then you yourself will gain knowledge and expertise to move on to the next one, right? So yeah, according to your size, the right race. Don't compete with anybody. It's not fair to them, right? Don't compete with anybody. Just you at your finest. You can get inspiration from other things and stuff like that, but you design something that makes sense to you and brings you joy and stuff like that. That fits your lifestyle, right? So how much do you charge for consultation? Consultation. So it depends. Sometimes if you buy with a package with the building, which I think is the best when you buy with a building guide or the buyer's guide and stuff like that, that price is different. If it's just estimate, that is different. And so it's like, but I think, I've been doing consultation for a long time. Nobody has ever asked for a refund. Um, because I think too, when you pay, then there's other things that I could never say publicly, and then I'll give you everything. There's not within that time frame though. I'll give you everything that is going to help you, even if you go work with somebody, at least you got information, right? So it's just there's nothing that I would say, okay, that kind of so we can even, and I may have to dig a little bit into your financials just to make sure that okay, what is the best way that you can execute your money and get the best outcome, right? And because when you finish the house and you have money to spend, that is dope. Do you need a lawyer for land acquisition in Ghana? Do you need one? No, you don't need a lawyer to do it. And if you do get a lawyer that is specialized in lands. You cannot go get a civil attorney for defense. This if you're defending yourself against you know other things like that, right? So the lawyer must be adverse in that particular tax that you want them to do. But do you need a lawyer? No. We've never used lawyers because we do our work and we've always been able to get things done. So 'cause sometimes the lawyers can be very lazy too. So you don't need a lawyer. So by understanding, how the process works really well and stuff like that. So Queen's Home, thanks for your journey. Do you buy lands for people as well? Yes, we do. We do. We have people reach out to us. We've done look for land and purchase for them and do the registration. We don't want to do a lot of those because it's a lot of work. Is trust me, it's a lot of work in buying a land, figuring the whole process, register it, transfer it, deal with all the stuff and pushing it through. It's a lot. So we do that, but we're very, very strategic because it's like it takes more work to actually build it. Now, the last part is much more difficult for us than building because our end goal is to able to acquire it without any litigation and for you to transfer and register it to a person's name, then they can legally at least have it, right? And that's a lot of that's to cross. So yes, we do that in specific places. Okay, and sometimes people also have the land document and they want us to cross check things for us. We do that as well, and then we'll advise you. We'll tell you, listen, it's a bad deal or it's a good deal. Here are the reasons this could come up, but then the decision is up on you to decide whether you want to pursue it or not pursue. But we will tell you. We'll tell you if there's a challenge. We'll tell you, okay, well, this is what is going on and stuff like that. So we do that. That is our area of predominant focus, stuff like that. Now, one thing we don't do though, one thing we don't do for reason. Sometimes people will be like, Tony, can you bring your crew to my site to supervise the work that somebody's doing? We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that because we are only responsible for what we touch, something that we touch. If we do something, we build something and it doesn't work, we'll fix it. We are responsible for that. I don't want us to be responsible for what somebody else is doing that we are visually looking at it because sometimes the problem is a little bit deeper. And we don't want to say it's good, then something happens, then you calling us saying, hey, you guys say it was okay. So we can't do that. We can't babysit other people's projects. So either for me, we can advise you what you should look for to secure yourself in that kind of stuff, or we do the project and be solely responsible for whatever happens with the project. Yes, right. Okay. Other than that, please share the videos. I hope this has been helpful to you, and keep building, and just get. It's all about the information, right? The information is going to save you time. It's going to save you money. It's going to reduce some of the headache for you, right? So it's all the information, and every video has its own place. Some videos, sometimes I was setting videos for entertainment. I'm not trying to process any of the information. And then there's certain things that the boring videos, I look at it to get information to build my dreams so I can be much more comfortable, much more secured, and much more happier, right? And so that is what it is. So, but it can be done. My goal is listen, let's reduce the stress. Let's reduce the amount that people are losing money and people are taking money right away, and changing their phone numbers. Let's reduce that, and then you can have the same success I'm having because I'm not here saying that somebody took my money and ran or somebody do all that kind of stuff, right? So I think it will be helpful for that. Okay. So thank you. Appreciate you for joining us. So subscribe to the channel, share the videos, and then let's make uh, let's 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 make those dreams come true. But I'm telling you, man, it's like once you finish that house, it doesn't matter what people say of you or think of you. It wouldn't matter because you've proven to yourself that listen, I have accomplished a worthy dream. And I'm telling you, it's like I want each of you that are building to taste that dreams and stuff like that because you feel like, man, well, why did it even take this long? This thing is so dope and awesome that I would have even, if I knew this feeling, I would just put everything in and wrap it up. Right. So I'm rooting for you. It's like just by I might do videos criticizing guy here and there, but it's in good taste and good faith. Okay, so just win. All right, thank you, and have a great weekend, and reach out to us if we can help you in a capacity. All right, thanks. Bye bye.